Oh, honey.
Oh, honey. Also, I think finally, again, the fan, just the two of us, and I'm so happy to see it.
Truly, it's just because we're such big fans of America's Best Dance Crew. But regardless, hi, uglies. Just kidding.
Wrong
Just
show.
kidding. Wrong show.
Also, can we just the fact that we both have now Dirt Squirrel now?
Shout outs to Dirt Squirrel. Shout outs to Dirt Squirrel. Hashtag sponsor us.
I wish.
I wish.
Anyways,
I pray.
Yeah. Welcome to the Cup Refilled, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am Brandon, your professional fangirl of Constant Dragon video games. As always, water, because, hydration is important.
And I am Brooke, and I'm excited to just talk about America's Best Dance Crew. We got a lot of routines to get through, so I'm going to save you the painful intro.
No, yeah, let's get straight into this because, whew.
Honey. So to be clear, we're talking about episode 3 and episode 4 of season 1 of America's Best Dance Crew this week. Got a lot of routines to go through. We have, 13 routines to go through? 13?
13. Though
yeah.
we can go through this quick because I'll be honest, like these feel more fast paced. Like the first 2 weeks, like felt really slow for some reason.
I mean, you had 9 and 8 crews and like a lot of bad crews, cough cough enigma. So like it's one of those like we have to take into consideration that we have lost the second worst crew in the competition and the third worst crew in the competition. So now we're seeing a lot better performances to this point. Also, would you agree with my assessment of the second and third worst crew being the two that we have lost?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Though the worst crew,
still kicking it.
Still kicking it. Again, mind you this, like again, I do like Break Skate as like their own just
Delusion.
On the show. But on this show is like why? So we're now so we're now in week 3. Again, how they work, how it works is they start with who are the first two about to be saved or in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
So just to go in that order, top 4 were Live in Color, Jabberwockies, Break Skate, and Kaba Modern.
Just to be clear, 3 out of 4 of these crews are incredible that I'm a huge fan of. So I'm very happy with most of this top 4. We'll just say that.
Yes.
And now, of course, that does mean our bottom 3 for the week are Fish and Chicks, Status Quo, and Iconic. We're going to show you who gets bottom 2 in that in just a little bit when we get past the other top 4. So the challenge for episode 3 or week 3 is the Dance Craze Challenge. So each crew performed to a song that has a popular dance attached to it. Think the Cupid Shuffle, think the Electric Slide or something of that era, ilk. And then they have to incorporate that plus an additional challenge into their routine, just and keep their own persona within it. And as we have seen, we have quite a few crews in the past that have lost themselves in these challenges. So we're going to see if we can keep it this week. But we get to start off with Live in Color, which is always a great place to start.
Always. Obviously, in the first week, they were the first group to be introduced, and they're first here this week, which I really enjoy. So,
yeah, I mean, even in the second week, they were the second crew. They've performed early consistently, which is great because they're phenomenal. So Live in Color is performing to two step. God, always forget that this song exists until I go back and rewatch this performance.
Really?
Yeah. I don't go to clubs, Brandon. Okay.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Like I barely hear this one as well. Like at the same
Mhm.
time, but I knew about this because like this would always play at like I think one of the last weddings I went to, they played this for some reason. So
Haven't been
not
to a
last
wedding since I was like a child,
yeah,
but I
like
go on.
the wedding before that. So I was just like interesting
Mhm.
choice, but okay.
Yeah. So not only do they have to incorporate the two-step into the two-step routine, but they also have to find a way to exchange clothes while they are performing. Which, if you've ever had to do that on stage, it sucks. It sucks a lot, Brandon. I'm assuming you can relate. Um,
I've never done it. However, I've seen it, and I'm just like, ooh.
so story time. When I was 12 years old, right? I was doing hip hop at my dance studio, and one of the routines we each had like a black baseball cap, right? And we did some hat choreo. And at the end of the choreo, we like handed the hat to the person beside us, right? And if the amount of BS that we had to go through to get a simple hat transfer to work. Did I freeze for a second?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. The amount of BS we had to go through to get that simple hat transfer to work at the end of that section. I mean, you're dealing with a bunch of like 10 to 14-year-olds, but still. So, mad respect to Levin Color for doing as well as they did with the transitions because they did three, which is kind of crazy.
It
Um,
was the jacket, the hat, and
the jacket again. So the
oh,
ladies switched their
I
jacket.
mhm.
Yeah. So the ladies in Levin Color switched their jacket. Then they did the hat thing, which they did kind of bungle a smidge. Um, and then the two of the guys swapped a jacket as well.
Oh, I didn't
Near the
notice
end of the
that
routine.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that one. I noticed the first jacket like transition because obviously like the gold jacket like stood out like immediately to me. But then the second jacket I didn't see. So good to know that they did three outfit changes there. So work.
Yeah. Work diva. Um, so yeah, but this performance was fantastic. And for me, I mean, I'll be real, it wasn't my favorite performance that they did this season. Actually, it might be my least favorite performance out of the four that spoiler, out of the four that we see
Ooh.
to this point. Out of the four we see up until next week. And it's spoiler by the end of the episode, no worries. But Live in Color are incredible, and watching them roll tomorrow Mario Lopezism is always impressive.
Well.
How do you feel, Brandon?
So yeah, this was good. Like again, I think when you focus on the challenge itself, yes, not one of my favorites, but still good. But to me, with the added challenge, like their challenge,
Mm,
of them taking off the jacket to someone else, like that was one of my favorites.
yeah.
So one of my favorite twists that they had to do. So I give them props because obviously I could never. So
Oh, mood. It's difficult. The judges, as usual, made me angry here, but all I'm
when do
gonna
they
say is
not? When
this:
do they not make you angry?
they will not make me angry in about two performances. I will say that. But yeah, but here it's just they keep on talking about getting tired of the booty. There was no booty shaking in this routine
Oh
at
yeah, where was
all.
that? Where was it? No.
Non-existent, Brandon, because it didn't happen. Now, did they like half twerk? Sure, but like even then, it wasn't really twerking. That's
I
not
barely
really what
noticed
they
it, so
did.
that's why. Yeah,
Yeah, it was just clean. I don't know what you want from them because they're doing their job and doing it well. But once again, we must pigeonhole Live in Color into that box that they have pigeonholed them into all season. And ugh, God, they were so good. I love them so much, and I'm irritated by this
hmm.
again.
Ugh.
Again, this is the redheaded stepchild season of America's Best Dance Crew for a reason. Okay, we don't
Not
like
the
these.
redheaded child. No.
That's a southernism. Okay, that is a like South thing. Like we say that all the time, talking about that kind of thing. Like this
Uh,
is the black sheep. I guess would probably be like
I
the
I say black
non-South
sheep. So
transition.
yeah, I say black
Yeah,
sheep. So
yeah. This is like the black sheep season, and this is part of the reason why is how Live in Color gets treated, and it's ugh.
Hmm, I digress. Anyways, next up, Jabberwockies.
Performing to Lean With It, Rock With It by Dim Franchise Boys, which I never knew that was the name of the group that did that, but
Same,
sure.
same. Knew the
Um,
song, never knew the artist.
yeah, exactly. And then their challenge is that they are supposed to create an illusion that defies gravity. Now, a few seasons later from now, there is an illusion challenge on season 3. I don't know if they did it on any other seasons off the top of my head, but I know it was on season 3. Um, and it's a pretty like solid challenge, and each crew gets a different challenge. Every crew in that season did their magic illusion better than Jabberwockies did.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This is often considered like one of their best performances on ABDC. I do not agree, like at all. Um, because as usual, their actual performances are clean, right? They're always clean. That's never a problem for them. But it was just so. I'm gonna say it was boring. I got bored watching it this week. Um, am I in the minority? Probably, but
Okay.
like,
I agree with you to an extent. I wouldn't say it was like more boring. It was just, in my opinion, like it was like, yeah, dance was still good, but wish there was a little more pizzazz, I guess,
mhm.
in a sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's like okay, the section that really bored me, right, is the section after, like when they do the Lean With It Rock With It section, like when they're actually doing like the dance. That part was great because not only did they do the actual dance, but they like got on each other and like climbed on each other and were like leaning and rock withing it in formations in stacks, and that was impressive, right? Everything after that bored me.
Oh, okay.
Like because it was just it felt like a bad version of iconic, and I hate saying that because I love iconic, right? But okay, the pull out break in section that they did, that iconic does that better, and they do it a lot, but they do it better. um and the illusion at the end, from the camera angle we got, it was good. If you were in that audience and you were on the sides, that would have looked terrible. Okay. And we're in a theater in the round, pretty much, right? There is a decent chunk of the audience that when they see that, they're not gonna understand what they're doing because it'll just look weird.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, from our camera angle, and the judges are at a position where they're looking at it from the front, it looked fine, but it didn't like create an illusion that defies gravity. That's not really what happened, and I don't think they hit that challenge at all.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it was so hard to tell when I would like I could rewatch it twice, and
Mm-hmm.
I still couldn't tell, so it was a little bit, mm,
Mm-hmm.
but I digress. But
Well, I mean, and to be clear for the audience at home, they literally had two of the members of Jabberwockies. One was doing a midair freeze, which is impressive. I will give him that, like a handstand freeze. That's impressive. And then the other one was like on his knees with his arms out, just like doing the Superman flight thing.
mm-hmm.
And then the other four were covering everything that wasn't the head and the arms and the legs in front of them. So they're like blocking out their bodies, which I mean, it kind of worked, but it also just kind of felt a little bad and a little cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
not my
challenge wise,
favorite job.
yeah, but so challenge wise for me, like, was not the best, but was still one of my favorite dances in my opinion. So
Fair enough. I mean, again, we're allowed to disagree, Brandon.
yeah, I'm. That's just
Um,
me. That's just me. Like I
yeah.
do like agree with your sentiments though, because
Mhm,
obviously we have all of their different takes, but also at the same time, like
mhm.
I if we're taking into account to the challenge, like for me, like not that great. So
Yeah. But again, I mean, they're still an incredible group, right?
hmm
This just was kind of a performance for me. It wasn't it like nowhere near the bottom of the barrel this week. Let's put it. Let's be clear,
yeah,
because we're
I
about to
I
talk
agree
about
with
that.
that.
We're
Hmm
about to talk about that. But actually, no, screw it. Jabberwocky was like 75, 80, whatever, for me.
Yeah, it was about 75. If we're going back to Live in Color though, they were like an 85 for me.
Agreed. 85 for 11 colors. Sounds great. Next, we get to talk about Breakskate. Read Brandon's fan. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. So they are once again getting the easiest crap on the planet. And I'm so pissed because they got the Cupid Shuffle. Okay?
Yep.
Now, they did say that some of these dances are really easy to execute, and that's kind of the point, right? But the challenge that they were given, I thought it was going to be something crazy to make it harder because they had the easiest dance out of everyone here. Like, let's tell facts. They had the easiest dance. They just had to stay connected while they performed part of the Cupid Shuffle. And they still somehow screwed that up. You talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about it.
I think we're all in agreement that we are this.
No, it's not even that. Give me Piplup, please, because that is what I need right now.
So you don't have the picture, but we'll still.
I love Amanda, but at the moment I am that. I am that. I am Rage Piplup. Okay, I am the grumpy squid. Okay, that is what I am. Grumpy squid.
Octo knows too well. Octo knows too well.
Grumpy octopus for the mood. Like, okay, we say they screwed it up, but we should talk about how they screwed it up because us just saying we didn't like it, whatever, right?
Yeah, because what happened was, again, to the right, to the left, one person slips.
No, he didn't even slip, okay? If he slipped on his skate, it'd be a little embarrassing because that is kind of his whole gimmick, but, like, whatever. They were literally doing to the right, and, like, doing, like, a head dip when they did it to make it a little less Cupid Shuffle, make it a little more entertaining, which I did actually appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
How do you mess up the timing on a 1, 2, 3, 4 where you are beating on the 2 and the 4? Like, this is fundamental, like, beginner hip-hop shit, okay? This is, like, the basic foundation of dance to me, right? Also, where did the background go?
Oh, what?
I
I know why.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. Anyways.
Okay. Regardless, it's fine. We got our stage for a performance. It's okay. But so they screw that up. That happens. I will say the now kick section where they're doing like the handstands and like the sliding kicks was kind of fun because it wasn't the same mess over and over again. And then they link up and do a like weird grounded worm thing. Like, I'll call it what it was. They did a human centipede worm. And
No, I was gonna say exactly that.
yeah, it's literally a human centipede worm. I have never looked at something on this show and been like, before, and I don't think I'm gonna ever do it again. But I hope, I pray. But
I will say this though, I say a little, like, because like that was the only thing I was impressed by them. But other than that, I was just like, eh.
That impressed you? That impressed you?
A little bit, because I was just like, you're doing it in skates, but also like that's their connected challenge. Though, if I'll be honest, that wasn't being part of what they're supposed to do, because that wasn't part of the Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah, because the challenge was that they were supposed to stay connected during the Cupid Shuffle, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just an extra part of the routine. So technically, they did their challenge. Did they somehow screw it up? Yes. Were they still boring for most of the performance? Yes. And are they still relying on the same 5 moves? Yes. So I would like to formally offer Breakskate a broken cup for their Cupid Shuffle performance. Thank you.
I'm a little generous, but generous is a lightly used here. Gonna give them a 10.
This is the part where you give them a freaking 1. Oh my god. All right.
Again, this is not where I gave Monica Beverly Hills a 2, but it's fine.
You did give Monica a 2. That did happen. All right. So next, we get to talk about good dance again. Thank the Lord. Cobb Modern. Yay, Cobb Modern. They are performing to The G Slide by Lil Mama. Brandon, let me ask you a question. As someone who has never watched season 1 of America's Best Dance Crew before this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Had you heard The G Slide by Lil Mama? And if you had, would you consider it a dance craze?
Have heard the song. Don't think it's a dance craze.
It's just so weird. Um, so yeah, and then their extra challenge is that they each had to like partner up and perform a lift.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. They were great as usual. I mean,
Yeah, they were fine. I guess like their only lift was when they did that flip. So
it's a lift.
it's a
It's a
lift,
lift.
but I will say this because like I guess challenge wise for me it was like all right they were fine but if we're like in addition like I wish they did a little more.
Oh, totally fair. I will also say they had by far the song with the least to work with, though.
That
Yeah,
part.
because even the Cupid Shuffle, okay, as simple as it is, they can at least do something with the music, right? Like, it's literally set, like, the G Slide is set to, God, what is it? What's the song that's set to? I can't think of it offhandedly, but, like, it's like a nursery rhyme kind of vibe
Oh
to it.
it's an interpolation of Wheels on the Bus.
Yeah, like, it's just so slow, and not even slow, it's just, like, so flat. They don't have anything they can really do with it. So what they did to me with what they were given was more impressive than like Jabberwocky's doing fine stuff with Lean with the Rockwood. I'll be honest. Like they weren't. No one was like bad this week outside of Breakskate. I don't think. I just think Carbon Modern had a harder job to do than
No,
Jabba.
yeah, because when it comes to like what they work with compared to like their challenge, it's like
Mm-hmm.
so they were able to work with what they got, which is they did okay. And then of
Mm-hmm.
course with the added challenge of doing a lift, it was just like obviously in their pre-package they were like we've never done lifts, I don't know how this is gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they still were okay. So
I mean, to be fair, they also did one of the safest lifts they could possibly do, which was like that assisted backflip kind of thing, which fair enough, nothing crazy, but I do wish they had like went a little bit further with it. I will say again, if you read my header, week 3 mid, most of the performances this week are kind of like fine to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
same with me.
Yeah. But yeah, Carbon Modern is gonna get an A for me. I don't I think Live in Color was better, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
But
same.
yeah,
For me it's a 77. So
fair. All right, so now we are at our bottom 3, which again is Fish and Chicks, Status Quo, and Iconic. And the bottom 2 is Status Quo and Iconic, which how did you feel about that? I just want to see where your perspective is.
okay. A little shocked if I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
However, one made sense, one didn't.
Yeah, after the performances from week 2, I would agree with that. Um, I'm just happy Fish and Chicks wasn't in the bottom because their performance in week 2 was incredible. So yeah, I'm happy they were safe. But Status Quo being in the bottom 2 makes sense. Their performance in week 2 was not great. I'll be honest. It was second worst of the week. Iconic being in the bottom 2, they were in my bottom 3 from week 2, so I can kind of see it. But like, Breakskate is still sitting right there.
Yeah,
So
right over there.
yeah, you agree, like right? Like Status Quo
Yes.
was just understandable, but
A
like
status quo was understandable, but Iconic I did not agree with. So
yeah, I agree. But yeah, Fish and Chicks, the last safe crew of the week, performed to "It's Going Down" by Young Jock, and then they had to perform some of the steps backwards, so they had to like do part of the routine in reverse. This will become a challenge for many seasons of America's Best Dance Crew. I can think of 2 off the top of my head that did something like this. Rated Next Generation did it in season 7. Also, underrated crew, Rated Next Generation. They're fantastic. Um, and then Fanny Pack did it on season 6 as well. So like there are definitely some crews that have done this, but they did it fine.
Yeah, they did fine. Like
They were fine.
yeah, but both their challenge and like their dance, I was like, it was good. So
Yeah,
no
it was
complaints there.
solid. It was
Mm-hmm.
solid. Like I mean, I feel like we critique harshly this week because this week is like this challenge is not my favorite, and they did it a lot on this show, and I never understood why, but it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. Like of the groups for this week, like I will say Fish and Chicks was like up there for me. So
Agreed. Again, because it was fine is about all I can say about most of these performances.
but yeah.
I feel bad, like
Yeah, no,
because
I also
none.
feel bad.
Yeah, well, because there's also other than Break Skate, there's not that crew we can look at and say, well, at least they weren't that anymore. You know, like we
Mm.
had that with Enigma. We didn't really have it in week 2 with Fem 5, but it was kind of status quo in week 2. So like we can look at them and be like, yeah, but it was okay. But that was really bad. This week it's kind of like they were all fine. It was solid. I'd give them like an 82 after that, after this performance.
80. So
Yeah, fair. So then we get to the bottom 2, and Status Quo performs first. And they got the Soldier Boy.
crank that Soldier Boy. Yep.
Soldier Boy up in the O. Watch me crank and watch me roll. Not life in color though. And they have to do part of the dance upside down. How the hell did this performance not fail on every level? I'm about to sneeze. Hold on 1 second. We're good. Never mind. But 2, they got that right. That challenge, which is tough. Okay, and Break Skate had to literally touch each other's shoulders while they did the Cupid Shuffle. I'm just saying, there is a problem, Brandon.
It is a problem. I'm just like easy, hard, and one group made it work. One group didn't.
Yeah, and like it was great. This was my favorite performance of the week. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was phenomenal. They did the Soldier Boy upside down. Like how?
Like the people that were upside down for it, I was like, I like mouth to the floor. Like I was like, how? Like I don't know
Well,
how they were gonna incorporate that because like yes, they had to like incorporate part of their dance to make sure they were their legs were on someone else's shoulders to be upside down for it, but still made it flawless.
I'll be real, there's not a ton of like upside down moments of dance that I think about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is probably the second most impressive thing I've seen on this show like that. The other one we'll get to much later on in America's Best Dance Crew history. I don't want to bring it up yet because it is kind of a shock moment because it's not a challenge, I might add. Um, but yeah, they were incredible. As honestly, episode 2 is kind of a weak spot for them. Outside of that they're pretty great for a while, so they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we got to talk about iconic. Oh, we got to score them, don't we?
Oh
Oops.
yeah, we gotta score them.
Full.
Full.
They're great. And then we got to talk about iconic, who got the chicken noodle soup, chicken noodle soup, chicken noodle soup, with a soda on the side. How did you feel? Oh yeah, they also had to do part of the dance on their back. How did you feel, Brandon?
I felt bad. I really felt bad for them. Like,
Okay, I will say this. Yes, status quo beat them. Okay,
mm-hmm.
objectively, status quo was better. However,
Oh, yeah, you're back. Okay.
yeah, sorry, status quo beat them. Objectively, they were better. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but iconic was better than like 4 of the safe crews this week for
No,
me.
I agree because I was just
I
like
think
that's why I felt bad because I was just like they really got the short end of the stick here, and I'm just like they did really good this week. Yet,
I think the only safe crew that like edged them out for me this week was Live in Color.
no, yeah,
And,
same.
and like the rest of them, I think just were not bad, but like they're fine. But yeah, iconic. I will say, I think the part that was weak was that perform a portion of the dance on their backs was their challenge, and they did like half of the routine on their back, if not more. Um, which I mean, it was impressive to watch, but there's a limited amount of things you can do on your back, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and they were hitting some really sick formations, and they did the entire chicken noodle soup on their back, which is impressive. But like, I feel bad for them. I really do, because I definitely think they had a phenomenal routine. It just they're in the bottom, which sucks.
And then the unfortunate thing,
We gotta, yeah.
they get eliminated.
Bitch. Okay. Also, to be clear, they would have gotten like a 90 from me, not 90, like an 84 for me this week.
They would have given. I would have given them an 80 for that. So I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, work. But
Yeah, but
it's sad
going
because
home sucks.
it's sad because last week I understand why from what happened,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like this was a good week for them. But
Yeah, like this to me felt like what last week should have felt like, you know, like
Mhm.
because last week we talked about it, it did feel like they lost themselves a little bit in the challenge and they didn't really like perform as iconic. It felt like a crew, right? This week was iconic, performing as iconic, doing the challenge and doing it really well. It's just a little bit too little too late, I think.
Yeah. So what was your top 3 for week 3?
Okay, not counting iconic because they did get eliminated, or else they would have been
Mhm.
in my top 3. My
Yes.
top 3 was Status Quo, Live in Color, Fish and Chicks.
Those were my exact top 3.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that would put for me Break Skate and Jabberwockies in the bottom 2.
Which sucks because it's
Which
like what sucks
yeah,
as in like Jabberwockies would have been the bottom, but
I mean, okay, let's keep it 100. There is no way in hell Jabberwockies would have been in the bottom after this.
mm,
But they should have been, in my opinion, for
yeah.
me. Um, but that is the end of episode 3, and we now get to move on to unironically the best challenge in the history of America's Best Dance Crew. The only reason to go back to season 1, one of 2 reasons to go back to season 1. Okay, um, it is episode 4. We are at the top 6, and it is the movie set challenge. It's so good. Okay, so there is this massive like prop filled stage. Okay, they have this like set constructed with this fence and this car and this dumpster and a bunch of other like really cool props. Right? They get given a song and a character and get told to go loose. It's ingenious, and I love this challenge, and I'm mad they never did it again. They
Really?
never do this again, and it's so sad.
That is sad
Um,
because I really loved this week. I really
yeah.
did.
Also, we get 2 of my favorite performances in the history of the show this week. Um, there, 2 of them are in my top 10. I'll be honest.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it when we get to them. But first, your top 3 are Jabberwocky's Common Modern and Status Quo. Fine. Fine.
I do kind of agree with this, even though when it came to like performances from the prior week, um I only agree with 2 of them.
I mean, okay. Do we think Jabba was in the bottom 2 based on their performances just from week 3? Yes. But do we think they got a lot of fans from week 2 that just kept voting for them?
Yes.
Also, yes. And I mean, them not being in the bottom 2 or even the bottom 3 kind of makes sense. I'm not mad at it, but I definitely think they should have at least been like swapped with one of the 2 crews in the bottom 3. Just kind of like a, hey, don't do that again. Because they're first this week. They dance first. Oh, also bottom 3's the other 3 crews, which is Brick Skate, Fish and Chicks, and Live in Color. Which choices? um,
Choices.
choices. Um, so yeah, so Jabba goes first. They're performing to Technology by 50 Cent and Justin Timberlake. You might know this as the Justin Timberlake "She Wants It" song. If you don't know the actual name of the song. Um, and they're tasked with performing as thieves or like robbers or whatever. This is the performance that made me remember exactly how much I love this challenge, even if it is one of my least favorite performances of the week.
Really?
Yes, 100. I agree 1,000% with JC on this one. I'll be honest. Um, I will.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, to be clear, I am being very negative on Jabba this week. I love them to death. And next week, when we talk about the episode 5 performance they do, you're going to see me gush about them. It was just so samey. It was just Jabba doing the same thing they always do. The only thing that
Okay,
impressed me
fair.
this week was Raynon doing the head spin on the carb.
Hmm.
I'll be
The hand,
honest.
yeah, that handspin, yep. The flare.
Yeah, yeah, the flare was lit, but like the flares are always lit. They're always impressive, but like I just not my favorite performance from Jabba. I'll be honest. I do still love it though because this set makes it feel so immersive that like
Mhm.
all these routines, even break skate this week, I enjoy. So
Wow, really?
okay, I don't love them. Let's be clear. I at least enjoy it because the set adds dimension. You
Okay,
know.
that's shocking. That's shocking because I have thoughts about that
We'll
routine.
talk. We'll talk about. We'll
We'll
talk
talk
about
about it later. But for me this week, again, one of my favorites for Jabberwockies because I was very like, again, the immersiveness of it all like adds on to like why I love like this as well.
it.
I mean, yes, I
Yeah.
do agree with some of your sentiment that like yes, it's the same thing that Jabberwockies do, but like it still has to like add on to what they do as a crew in addition to
Yeah.
their like what their theme was.
Yeah. They're. I mean, again, it's a mid Jabberwockies performance, which means it is still like a good, solid dance routine. Okay, they are not gonna be sloppy. They're never sloppy, but they are
As they shouldn't
kind of.
be.
Well, exactly. I mean, you're on the show. You better not be sloppy. Cough, cough,
Mhm.
Enigma. But cough, cough, Fem 5. But and low key, cough, cough, break skate. But
Mhm.
people just do what people do. But this wasn't my favorite of theirs. My favorite of theirs is next week. I cannot wait to talk about that. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, but oh, dude, next week. Okay, spoiler alert for next week. I know 2 weeks from now when we cover it, episode 5 is Michael Jackson's Thriller, and everyone performs to a song off of Thriller, and it is fantastic because all of the routines, even one of the teams we don't like, are not bad. So there's that.
And I have
Um,
watched and like breaking the fourth wall with this, I have watched the Jabberwockies routine of Michael Jackson because I did watch them live in Vegas like years ago.
Yeah, it's probably their second most famous routine off the show, um, which we'll get to the big one later. But yeah, they're killer. They're great. But this week wasn't my favorite.
Mm.
I'd give
Okay,
them like
that's
an
fair.
85. An 85.
90 for me. So
Makes sense. All right.
all right. Next up, Kaba Modern.
Yay! Come on here. This is my. It's in my top 10. This is one of my favorite routines in the history of the show. I
Mhm.
love it. I love them. I love. They're so good. Okay, so they're performing to "Sensual Seduction" by Snoop Dogg, right? And they have the guys are playing geeks and the girls are playing popular girls. Boring, whatever. They make it work and not a stereotype, which is great.
Mhm.
Also, they're just so good at everything they do, and it hurts me. Like, I am physically jealous of how good they are at everything. How are they good at everything, Brandon?
Because they make everything work for them, and I'm glad.
They're so good. So
Tying back to last week, how one of the judges said that the girls outdanced the guys, and then the guys outdanced the girls this week. I was
good.
just like, okay, like, and I loved how like when they got that like I wouldn't say critique, but like that comment, like
Hmm.
everyone was just like so supportive. I was just like, oh, nice.
I mean, guys that the girls, girls that the guys. I think they are because Copper Modern is the only team on this season that is an even gender split. There are teams
Hmm.
that have both genders on it. Well, I mean, No, after this episode, they're the only ones. But there are teams that have that gender split going on. But Call of Modern were the only one that had equal guys, equal girls, so that way they didn't like feature one over the other. It was always just whoever they wanted to feature that week. And I think that's part of the reason that they're so. I mean, for me, that they're one of my favorite crews that have ever been on the show is because
Same.
they don't like, mess with any of that stuff, and it's fantastic.
No, yeah. I love that.
But yeah, I don't even. I can't even tell you specific parts of this routine I love. I just love the whole thing. Just go watch it. Okay, we'll link the playlist in the description or something, or post a comment. This is subjectively my favorite routine this week. One of my favorite routines in the history of the show. Across all 8 seasons, I love it. They are fantastic. I love Call of Modern more than life itself sometimes, I swear.
Yeah.
Overflowing.
Overflowing.
You're so good.
And then next, we have Status Quo.
Yay! All right, so they are performing to "Hey Baby Jump Off" by Bow Wow and Omarion. I know you're an Omarion fan, Brandon, so I'm assuming you were happy to see that.
I'm a Omarion like casual slash fan in a way, so like I'm familiar. So
yeah, and they were dressed as their characters were tuners. They were good. I mean, again, it's one of those weeks where everyone outside of one group is like across the board some of the best we've ever seen from them, because this stage just adds so much depth to what they can do. So I mean, again, good this week is still great, right? They were great, but it wasn't my favorite of the week.
Fair. Like, of course, I'm trying to remember like what they were trying to do as tuners again, because this was like, were you frozen a little bit? Okay, no, you're back.
There you go. I'm just chilling. I'm just letting you talk.
No, yeah, because like, I forgot what they were doing as tuners, because like since that was their character.
I mean, I'll be honest, with Status Quo, they don't really act that much in this routine. It's still a lot of their normal, like, tricky stuff, like, they're still flashy. And I will say, out of all the groups, even Break Skate, I hate to say it, I do think they had the least amount of connection to their characters within their performance. But it kind of didn't matter, because they were still using the set, and that's what mattered to me, was the set. I mean, I still think they were great. I didn't hate it or anything. I think they were, I mean, honestly, they were in my bottom 2 from this week. But I think that's just because every other crew other than Ick did really well. So yeah, I'd give them like an 84 for me this week.
Yeah, like for me, because like I was trying to still remember what they did, and it's been a while. Like, well, not a while. Like, been of judging the rest of the groups though. So, like, yeah, I don't know why I thought they were forgettable. I don't know why.
They kind of were. That's the thing, because to me, and I'm assuming to you, right? A lot of these performances hit this week, right? Because it is that good of a week. So a crew that's just fine, we're gonna forget about. But yeah, they were like, and again, an 84 feels about right to me.
All right, yeah, okay. For me, it's about a 79. So
let's go 79. So then we have the bottom 3 are out on the stage, and the bottom 2 are Fishin' Chicks and Live in Color.
I need to grab it back down.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Brandon, let me ask you a question. I knew this was coming. I knew when I was rewatching this that this was the bottom 2. I knew it was happening. When you saw who the bottom 2 were, what was your reaction? Exactly. Okay. In a world where Fishin' Chicks is in the bottom 2 this week, I don't agree with it, but I get it. There is no way in hell Live in Color should have been anywhere near the bottom 2 this week.
That part.
And we'll talk about it in a minute. We'll get to it. But Break Skate not only being safe over Live and Color and Fish and Chicks, but now one of them has to go home. Sucks. Yeah, okay, honestly, can we just say this? Break Skate, fine, 30. Moving on. I don't even want to talk about them. I don't, okay? This is their second best performance of the season. Them being safe over these two crews, I don't even want to speak on it because I want to give these two crews more time.
Yes, exactly. I'm pleading for this one. If I'm honest.
Okay, you can talk about it if you're going to plead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say, don't get me wrong, like, routine itself was fine, but if they got the task of basketballers, I did not agree with the crate situation.
Okay, that's true. That's very fair.
Like, I get what they were trying to do with it. And I guess the only thing they were able to do, like, shoot the basketball is like jumping it into the dumpster. But
I mean, to be fair, I will say they did not have a basketball hoop on the stage,
which they should.
So they should have, because if that's going to be their gimmick in the routine, like they don't need, like the thieves don't need a bank to rob on the set. You know, they can be them part of them running away.
Well, I think what they did was they were like they had that bag and they were running away from something.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They had that bag. They had an extra prop to help sell their bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, granted, Breakskate did have the basketballs, so whatever.
Basketball crates, so
yeah, there was only so much they could do with that. I will say, I think this week they did kind of get a, I don't want to say difficult challenge, but they did not get all the materials necessary to like properly complete their challenge.
Yeah.
To me. So I will give them this much of a pass, and that's why I'm giving them a 30. I still think this routine's boring, but the set makes it more interesting.
Okay, I'll amend my plea to a 20 then.
There we go. Fair enough. Okay. So, bottom two, Fish and Chicks in Live and Color. Fish and Chicks is first. They're performing to Man-Eater by Nelly Furtado, which still hits all of these years later.
Still
hits. So, and then the gimmick is that one of them is a businesswoman who has decided to, like, let loose a little bit, if you will. Note, let loose, if you will.
Hold on.
There we go. Shouts to Lucy LaDuca. She's just going out for a night on the town. This is an incredible routine.
No, yeah,
do not get me wrong.
I love this routine.
They were fantastic. They used the set. I don't remember. I think it was Lauren that did that flip over the fence at one point.
Yeah, I think so.
That was great. They did a tap section, one person did a tap section, which was nice to see. It's nice seeing people not just do hip hop on this show. I appreciate that. Or breaking. But yeah, a great routine. Solid routine top to bottom, 90.
For me it was also 90, so.
And then we get Live in Color performing to Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast. The men are vampires. The ladies are damsels in distress. This is legitimately a top 3 routine in the history of the show for me. I love this routine to bits. I think they are incredible. They capture those characters so well. They play the characters better than anybody out here tonight, including Club Modern. Okay. Their performance is sensational. Like, what else do I say? This is an incredible routine. Overflowing, to be clear. Brandon, you talk about it.
No, yeah, this was great. Like, the conceptually and objectively, like, everything about it, I was like, how do you manage, like, again, it's so hard to, like, think of, like, your concept, and then, of course, when they, like, include that, it was just, like, they, not only they made it work, it was executed perfectly.
Yeah. I will say, they also did 2 outfit changes during this routine. That happened too. Nobody talks about it, but like they just do so much in this episode that they didn't need to do. They had the ending, right? Where the vampires literally just devour the girls, right?
Yep.
And it's not like an off-scene thing where they like crowd around them and then it's like implied. No, they are literally on the ground getting eaten, right? And we're just like incredible because it was so good. Also, just the section where they're doing like the leg. I don't even know the right term for it. Like the leg bounce, doing the.
Oh yeah, the thing when they're bouncing like
yeah, bouncing on. They're sitting on their butts, bouncing with their legs out, and like they're turning and they're like pivoting while they're doing it. This whole routine is incredible. Also, this song choice. Oh my god, great song choice by ABDC for this. Something. Oh yes, they did what needed to be done. And I don't talk about it very often. I love Outkast. Like they are one of my favorite musical groups of all time, duos, I guess, of all time. So getting to hear them, I think this is the only time anyone ever performed at Outkast on the show.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, 2 seasons later in the show, season 6 and season 7, the theme is that each week they are performing to a certain artist's music. It's not that those are the challenges. So
okay.
Yeah, like those are the gimmicks.
So taking the partial American Idol formula of like performing a specific artist.
Yeah, so like there was the season of the superstars. So like one week there was like a Bieber week, there was a Katy Perry week, etc. Like I remember one was a Nicki Minaj week. So like they did a lot of stuff like that, but this routine is immaculate. It is vastly overflowing. Cindy the TV is leaking, etc., etc.
On my scale, it's Kundala.
Yeah, Kundala. There we go. So we now have to talk about the most depressing thing that has happened on this show and will happen the entire season. This. How? All I'm gonna say is this.
Hold on.
I
have a better reaction for this because I think this is all of us right now.
That. You can also pull up Amanda.
The sad
Amanda's
apple
so
of
true.
Jada Essence Hall and then Amanda's surprise face because Amanda.
It's not even surprised. It's irritated, like irritated irritation, like irritated confusion.
And I have one.
Not Sminty.
Am I wrong though? Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Okay. So let's talk about it because we need to talk about it. I'm sad we have to talk about it, Brandon. Live and Cutter was pushed. Just like Helen.
Justice for Helen, yeah.
Justice for Helen.
Live in Color was pushed, but also America does not have taste.
Okay, I'll say this. America and the judges don't have taste. Because we know the reason they went home was the judges, because the judges pick out of the bottom 2 who goes home. Okay? It baffles me to this day. This happened 15 years ago, right? And I am still baffled as to why Live in Color went home here after, I'll be honest, eating the competition up for the first 3 weeks and apparently the live special too. So the first 4 weeks of the show, right? And then, in my opinion, having the best performance this week, which would end up becoming one of the best performances in the history of the show, and then they go home. I mean, again, Fish and Chicks, they were great this week too. Do not get me wrong. Okay, they are incredible every week. This is my second favorite performance they have on the show. Obviously, Freakum Dress is like immaculate, but like this is really good too. But over Live in Color? And not even that. Fish and Chicks were in the bottom already. They have been in the bottom too. Live in Color hasn't been below high.
Now I want to flip up because this is also the mood right now. So
That's the mood. That's the mood. Sad Piplup. That's the mood. No,
not
get the
that
octopus.
Piplup, just
Get
oh yeah.
get the octopus. That is the mood right now. Grumpy me. I am grumpy.
No, literally.
Literally. Um, Brandon, do you feel the same way I feel here?
Very, because again, a phenomenal week for them this week. And then of course they still were eliminated. Like, why? Also
I mean,
I got one more because of the judges.
mhm. Literally, bitch, what the fuck? You're not wrong. Um, and again, they shouldn't even been in the bottom two here. And them going home, it sucks because not only do we never really get to see them, you know, not pigeonholed somewhere by the judges. I mean, again, and this week really showed what they could do because there was zero booty shaking, even anything close to booty shaking in this routine. It was just them having fun and being entertaining, and they're so fucking entertaining. Um, if this was America's Most Entertaining Dance Crew, they'd win for free for me. I mean, as much as I love Coppa Modern, do not get me wrong, I love them to death too. Live in Color got robbed in broad daylight.
In broad daylight, and also the one that should have been eliminated is still in this competition.
They've not even been in the bottom two yet, Brandon.
Exactly.
Club 96.
Club 96. Oh my god.
Okay, so before we move on, we must acknowledge the other elephant in the room, which we haven't talked about yet, but the first 3 weeks, the crews have just grabbed their banner and moseyed on backstage to the crew garage like lamos. Okay, that is not how this works. Okay, no, you were supposed to dance off that damn stage, and Live in Color did the job, and they did it well. Okay, they did what needed to be done.
The proper way to get it done.
Exactly. Live in Color is the first crew to dance off the stage. Although I will say, I believe 2 members of Iconic did a bit of a dance on their way out, but outside of that, yes, no one has danced at this point. So Live in Color, Rob trendsetters as they should be. No, they shouldn't be. They should be here next week. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we have lost Live in Color, which sucks, and we're now at our top 5. So we got Jabberwockies, Fish and Chicks, Break Skate, Cabo Modern, and Status Quo are your final 5 crews. Next week, we will be entering Michael Jackson's Thriller Week, as we mentioned earlier. Each group gets a song off that album, and then they also have to do a Michael Jackson dance move within it. So that's going to be fun. And then episode 6, which we will also be covering next time, is the Broadway remixed episode. So each crew is given a Broadway musical with a song, and they have to turn the number into a hip hop routine, which feels a bit strange, but that's just what they have to do. And there is also a group routine in episode 6 with all 4 of the remaining crews, so we get to talk about that too.
I don't know how I feel about that.
They do them so much more later on in the show. So
Okay.
much more. This is like the first time it happens, but like, I mean, spoiler for the finale, there's what, 5 group routines in the finale? So the finale's stacked. So yeah, so we are down to our final 5. If you have not watched and you don't know how to get on Wikipedia, comment below on which crew you think will win America's Best Dance Crew Season 1. And if you have watched and you just want to hear us rant about how much we hate Break Skate, tune in next time.
This for the both of us, this is like hating Break Skate and Tory Deal.
Oh my god, hating Break Skate, hating Tory Deal, loving Coppa Modern, loving Amanda Garcia. That is what we do here.
Not part.
Also, I know you have not watched a single episode of anything we have ever done, but Amanda Garcia, if you want to come on at any point, we'll make an exception. We'll just shut up. I mean, it's not an exception. We would love to have you. So, but yeah, so if you guys are interested in seeing us talk about the last little bit, because we are halfway through the season as of this point, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell on this channel, so that way you guys get notified anytime we upload some stuff. And also, this is far from the only show we cover on this channel. We cover Survivor, Big Brother, Project Runway, Old School Survivor. We're also refilling that. Right now we're in the middle of Kage-On, so have fun with that, watching that. And then also, if you're into drag race of any variety, or La Mas Draga, or Dragula, or just any drag show, competition show, head on over to our main channel, The Cup, and it is linked in the bio, I would assume. It usually is. So go ahead and just click on that and head over there and subscribe over there. We just crossed 1,000 subs, so congrats to us. And yeah, and if you're going to hit all the buttons, hit the dislike button twice, and hit the like button once, because obviously. And yeah, come back next time.
We also got
and
cup
follow
merch.
us below. Oh, we didn't even do the cup. We didn't do the cup plug.
I don't have the cup with me, but cup
I don't
mug.
either.
Cup
And a
mug.
cup mug. Yeah, go buy your cup mug at longcreations.etsy.com. Follow us on Twitter at the Cup Pod, and follow me and Brandon at our individual Twitters, as in the ticker below.
Yes. Also follow me
yeah.
on Twitch, because I'm getting back into Pokemon right now because the DLC is out and I'm very enjoying it. So
yeah. And of course, next time you'll see Brandon and I, hopefully will be for the Challenge USA, next Tuesday, and then the Tuesday after that will be more America's Best Dance Gear coming right at your face. So we'll see you guys soon. Everybody, cheers.
Oh, you were drinking McDonald's today.
I had water, yeah.
Oh yes, obviously. Hydration.
Because it is important.
Yes. Goodbye. Goodbye now.
As you leave, your banner will fall.
The banner below, or the one that...
I mean, the banner below is just gone. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's still there. It's still there.
No, it's gone.